chapter 22, verses 1 to 14. At that time, again Jesus spoke to chief priests and elders of the people in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son and sent his servants to call those who were invited to the wedding feast, but they would not come. Again he sent other servants, saying, 'Tell those who are invited, see, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fat calves have been slaughtered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding feast.' But they paid no attention and went off, one to his farm, another to his business, while the rest seized his servants, treated them shamefully, and killed them. The king was angry, and he sent his troops and destroyed those murderers and burnt their city. Then he said to his servants, 'The wedding feast is ready, but those invited were not worthy. Go therefore to the main roads and invite to the wedding feast as many as you find.' And those servants went out into the roads and gathered all whom they found, both bad and good. So the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in to look at the guests, he saw there a man who had no wedding garment. And he said to him, 'Friend, how did you get in here without a wedding garment?' And he was speechless. Then the king said to the attendants, 'Bind him hand and foot and cast him into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen.'" The Gospel of the Lord. Dear friends in Christ Jesus, the first reading today is the most familiar reading from the book of Ezekiel, how God promises that I would give you a heart made of flesh rather than the heart of stone which you carry. And we are very, very familiar. A new spirit, new heart, which really makes a new person. And how the whole of this book, though both Prophet Jeremiah and Prophet Ezekiel might appear to be pessimistic in their approach, but their message is optimism and hope in spite of the repeated sins of people of Israel. I think it will be very nice actually if we could continue to read, and both the readings today, the first reading as well as the gospel reading today, are so beautiful. Actually, with the limited time we cannot do justice to the text. I would like to, at least within this possible limited time, let's take our reflection in one particular direction which is running parallel in both these readings. The gospel reading today, again another beautiful reading, which it's a little bit of doubt, or sometimes it might even question within our own self, saying people who were not, many of them did not turn up for dinner, and you go out into the road and finally pick up people who are just standing there idle, who really don't deserve to be part of this wedding festival or the feast, and you bring them inside and you expect them to be wearing wedding garment, and you chase this guy who is there without wedding garment. This might kind of puzzle all of us, but the reading here represents how in the whole of salvation history the prophets were sent as a people or servants to go and call people back to God. The servants, the prophets really went throughout the history, try to preach the good news and get the people back to God, but we know what has really happened. So many people rejected, some of the prophets were killed, and people really did not listen to God's message. They were not willing to participate in the messianic feast, the banquet which the Lord was willing to offer everyone. But the beautiful lesson in the text is this: just because the ones who are called did not turn, People who were found here and there without deserving this particular feast, without deserving to be to be guest at the feast of the banquet, it does not mean you can just come in without the garment. It simply means, in terms when we have our vocation to priesthood, vocation to religious life. So when we reflect on vocation, we always come out with this famous saying, so many are called, only few are chosen. Yes, not all the intellectuals, not all the best of the people are chosen to do God's ministry. The very fact that we are all baptized, we are all chosen from a very big crowd. And just because we are chosen, of course, being chosen is not our own merit. Being chosen is because God really loves us and gives us this particular grace and privilege, which we really don't merit. And just because we are given this gift without deserving, we cannot continue to live a life which we were used to before. So as soon as you enter the seminary, as soon as you join the religious life, as soon as you become Christian, you cannot say, okay, I was living a life which was miserable, God has chosen me, I know I am not worthy. Yes, we know we are not worthy, but we cannot continue to live the same life as before. We are chosen, we are trained, we are formed, and we are asked to take our vows, we are asked to take promise, we are asked to make covenant, we are asked to make commitment. Stick on to it. You cannot simply, wedding garment would simply mean the commitment, the covenant, the vows that we take, the rules that we are supposed to embrace. Coming inside, of course, we don't deserve, we come inside, but after coming inside, we have to do our best to deserve the merit the Lord gives us. So just because I am called as a priest from nowhere, I cannot simply live the life which I was living before. I have to live according to the rules and regulations of priesthood, and that is what the meaning of wedding garment. And if God looks at us without the wedding garment, it simply means we disrespect. So the underlying lesson in both these texts, beautiful text of today, is this: God is making us into a new person with new heart, new spirit, a heart made of flesh, not made of stone. By the very fact that He has chosen us to participate in the wedding feast, though we are not invited, we don't really deserve, He is making us into a new person. By the very fact that we are baptized as Christians, we are given this new spirit, new heart, new life. But what is expected from us is this: from the moment we are called, from the moment we enter this banquet hall, what is needed is to put on the wedding garment. God is not asking us to stitch and come. It is available. Just put it on. Make an effort, change your life, follow rules, follow discipline, follow the codes, follow morality. Then you have your feast. Then you participate in the banquet. We cannot go on saying the others did not respond. We are the only ones responded. Yes, fine. We are the ones who have responded, but that does not mean we can live our life as we were living in the past. It is expected that we have a conversion of our heart, conversion of our spirit, and new heart we need to carry forward and live a life which has to be in line with God's calling and vocation.